Hello, supporters of Ukraine. Thank you all so much for coming. We're about to begin our program, our official part. But before that, I would like to give this microphone to Irina Mazur from Philadelphia with an announcement to all Philadelphians who came here today. Woohoo! Hello, Philadelphia! Woo!
Дякую, Марино. Слава Україні! Ще раз, щоб Вашингтон нас почув. Слава Україні! Слава Україні! And God bless America!
Those of you who are standing behind us, please take some spots down there because you want to be able to see our speakers, our wonderful speakers. You want to be able to see the program. Please get down. Thank you.
Good afternoon. 1 year of full-scale war. 1 year of terror, torture, and murder. 1 year of Russian genocide against Ukraine. 1 year of survival. 1 year of Ukrainian courage and resilience. A year when the world came together to say, in words and in actions, we stand with Ukraine. Last month, a Russian missile hit an apartment building in my hometown, the Ukrainian city of Dnipro. Only a 5-minute walk from my family's home. It killed 46 people, 6 of them children. I'm Nadia Shaparinska, the president of the charity organization US-Ukrainian Activists. America has stood with Ukraine every day of this last year. This is not a metaphor. Members of US-Ukrainian activists, some of them Americans with no Ukrainian roots, have stood in front of the White House in support of Ukraine every single day since the full-scale invasion began on February 24th last year. Today will be rally number 367. Every day of this tragic year, our organization received donations from ordinary Americans, which helped us fund life-saving aid for Ukraine, from burn dressings to bomb shelters. And on a much larger scale, American assistance to Ukraine has made all the difference. Thousands, tens of thousands of people in my hometown alone are only alive today because of US military and humanitarian aid. To us, these lives are everything. Thank you, America, and thank you to each and every one of you who came today to stand with Ukraine. Thank you.
What so proudly we had at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watch was so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does
for the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave.
Woo! I'm Julie LaRose, the winner of Eurovision 2006 in Yurmala. Woo! And now please welcome honored artist of Ukraine, Volodymyr Sukhin, who will perform Ukrainian anthem.
We would like to celebrate and thank a diplomat that US-Ukrainian activists has had the honor to work with during this tragic and challenging year. I would like to express our deep appreciation to Her Excellency Oksana Markarova. Under Ambassador Markarova, we have seen the relationship between Ukraine and America strengthening into an unbreakable bond. We have seen an unprecedented level of cooperation and assistance between Ukraine and our most important partner, the United States. We have seen this cooperation extends across the political aisle to unite Republicans and Democrats, a major feat in this time of divisive politics. Madam Ambassador, you have the gratitude and respect of each and every one of us in the Ukrainian community. Thank you very much for rising to the occasion with constant hard work and the highest level of professionalism and skill. Your Excellency, Ambassador Oksana Markarova, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nadia. Too kind. I was almost thinking you're talking about someone else. Wow, what a day. Dear Ambassador Power, dear Secretary Donfrid, Secretary Bassett, my friend Ambassador Lambrinidis, and so many ambassadors that we have with us here today. Dear Reverend Fathers, leaders, volunteers of each Ukrainian and American organization here, Дорогі українці, all Ukrainians, by birth, by blood, and by choice, dear Americans, thank you so much for gathering here at the Lincoln Memorial to demonstrate your unwavering support and your unwavering solidarity with Ukraine and our people. When I listen to both anthems every time, I notice that they both focus on two traits which are not unique but the same for Ukraine and the US: bravery and freedom. Love to freedom and readiness to fight for it. Bravery to defend homes and loved ones from the aggressive intruders. Today we mark 1 year of a full-fledged aggression and invasion, and almost 9 years since Russian Federation attacked Ukraine and became this unprovoked, totally unfair, and totally unjustified war. Before the 24th of February last year, we all knew that we will not surrender, that we will not give up, that we will fight for the civilizational choice we Ukrainians have made in so many centuries. And so many Ukrainians fought for this here in the United States, while Ukraine was still under Soviet occupation. We decisively made their choice in 1991, and we have to remind everyone that in 1991, 98% of Ukrainians voted to be independent, voted to be free, everywhere, including Crimea, Donetsk, Lugansk, Kharkiv, Lviv, everywhere. That choice we have defended in each free and fair elections, which we held since 1991. That choice, when Russian revisionists wanted to steal from us, Ukrainian people said resounding no on Maidan in 2004 and on Maidan in 2014. It's the choice for which our Heavenly Hundred paid the ultimate price, and it's the choice for which our defenders are paying the ultimate price today. Among us here, there are a number of soldiers, wounded soldiers and veterans. Thank you for your service. Дякую вам за вашу службу. It's because of you I can stand here and talk. So today I stand here on the 365th day of the new reality in which we all live. The 365th day of brutal Russian war, of the largest war since the World War II in our part of the planet. 365 days of horrible atrocities, war crimes, done to men, women, and children everywhere in Ukraine. 365 days of sorrow, losses, tragedies, and destruction. But we are not talking about that today. We are talking about 365 days of heroic, almost impossible fight. Ukrainians put defending our homes, loved ones, our independence, our dignity, our sovereignty, freedom, and democracy. Fight that was made possible by leadership and bravery of our President Volodymyr Zelensky, of our troops, their mastery and devotion of every man and woman who serves on the battlefront today. Patriotism of our business, Ukrainian and American, small and large, continuing the fight everywhere in Ukraine, and resilience of all Ukrainians. 365 days of solidarity of American people, and unparalleled support that we have received during this year from President Biden, from administration, from Congress on a very strong bipartisan basis, from every American citizen. Thank you, Americans, for each weapon, for each taxpayer's dollars of help, for each prayer, for each flag that we see outside of American houses, for each letter you write to your representatives and to your senators, asking to stay the course, continue the support. Thank you, and please do more. Historic visits from President Zelensky from Bakhmut to Washington, D.C., and historic visit of President Biden from Washington, D.C. to Kiev and Warsaw has proven the unbreakable ties between our nations, between the people, based on the two values, bravery and freedom. So we will always remember what the United States has done to us in this, helping us to defend our country. 365 days, of course, also of European family devoted solidarity, when European Union and each of the European Union states not only opened their borders, their homes, their hearts for us, but also provided unprecedented support and welcomed us as a candidate to the European Union while we are fighting for the European values on the battlefield. We used to say that you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. Being strong and fighting for our country is the only choice we have now. And we are strong, and Ukrainians are united, from our president to each of the 40 millions back home and to many more millions everywhere in the world. We already won when we didn't allow Russia to take Kyiv in 3 days. We already won when Mariupol stood longer than any besieged city and allowed others to prepare to defend. We already won when we liberated Kyiv Oblast, Kharkiv Oblast, and Kherson. We already won when we survived this winter, when Russians, not being able to fight on the battlefield, decided to destroy all the civilian and energy infrastructure in Ukraine. We stand here in the place where Martin Luther King Jr. said, "I have a dream," a historic phrase for not only Americans, but everyone who fights for freedom. And we Ukrainians have a dream. We have a dream of how this war will end, in victory of Ukraine and all free world, in justice served to all responsible, from Putin to the last soldier, Russian soldier, war criminal on the battlefield, to all Ukrainians returning home, and in inspiring post-war renovation of the country, leapfrogging into successful, prosperous European Ukraine, member of European Union and NATO, and key to resolving so many problems that Russia created for the world. So we have not only a dream, but we have a plan, which is a very simple plan, which we had from the day one. More weapons, more support to Ukraine, and more sanctions to Russia. And we just have to be brave, stay united, help each other more, and win this together. So God bless you all who came today. God bless our troops. God bless America. And of course, Slava Ukraini!
Our Ukraine is lucky to have diplomats like you, serving at the forefront of international diplomacy. Thank you all you have accomplished, and for the hard work you continue to do every day. Thank you so much. To many of you, the following speaker will require no introduction. It is my honor and pleasure to welcome Ms. Samantha Power, the Administrator of USAID. Administrator Power is a leading advocate for human rights and democracy. Her career includes roles as a war correspondent, author, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, and more. In each of these roles, Ms. Power has brought every ounce of her moral strength and conviction into her work to build a better world for all of us. We are profoundly grateful for the assistance provided to Ukraine by USAID under the leadership of Administrator Power. Thank you so much. This assistance has played a critical role in this conflict, ensuring that everyone in Ukraine, from our farmers to our soldiers, can continue their daily battle for survival. Without further ado, I present to you Administrator Samantha Power. For your important work to support Ukraine in these tragic for Ukraine times. We would like to invite Karen Donfried, the Assistant Secretary of State for European and Eurasian Affairs. Prior to her current position, she served as President of the German Marshall Fund of the United States from April 2014 to September 2021. We are grateful to Dr. Donfried for her work on behalf of Ukraine, dealing with some of the most crucial and delicate negotiations required to create and maintain this international coalition in support of Ukraine's survival. Thank you, Dr. Donfried, for embodying America's unwavering connection with Ukraine. Thank you for the work you do in binding the nations of the free world together in alliance against tyranny. This is the very work that will decide what kind of world our children will get to live in, both in Ukraine and here in America. Dr. Donfried, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Дякую, Марина. Слава Україні! So, as Marina said, I'm the principal of the School of Ukrainian Studies of Greater Washington, D.C. area. For 60 years, we have been teaching and passing to new generation of children Ukrainian language, culture, history, and literature. All through last year, as Russia war ravaged our beloved Ukraine, our school became one of the main gathering centers for Ukrainian families in Greater Washington, D.C. area. Many Ukrainians, particularly women with children, were forced to relocate to many countries. We readily welcomed those that came to DC area, provided them with the support of our community and spiritual home away from home. Today, several of our children would like to share our school spirit with you. They will recite poems by famous Ukrainian poets. The first one is by Mikhailo Ivasyuk. This poem celebrates the Ukrainian language for its strength, survival, and capacity for infinite expression. The Ukrainian language has been oppressed, persecuted, and banned by both Tsarist and Soviet governments. So, Katerina Mariot, 5th class, вірш Михайла Івасюка.
Гей, люди, чом це наша мова, така шляхетна і гонорова? Тремтіти має, наче сарна, як мчиться в неї ціла псарня. Та ж українська дивомова, похідний марш і колискова, і жайвір під травневим сонцем, шатрівка батька під віконцем, гірських потоків цуркотання, і соловейкове лещання, і шелест жита, і пшениці, хмій ритм дощу і громовиці. У нашій українській мові живе освічена в любові, і люта ненависта ката, по гордах днів дарена гата, поезія степів і моря, жага несвідомих просторів, державний гімн і спів молитви, і гук війни, і скрегіт битви. В ній доля наша, зло закута, і клич Дніпрового могутя, і духу нашого твердиня, краси скремниця і святиня.
Козацькому роду нема переводу, нема рівні козакам, що йдуть за свободу. Козацькому роду нема переводу, нема рівні козакам, що йдуть за свободу.
all for coming together today here in Washington, D.C., across all 50 states, and in so many countries around the world, together with people in every single oblast of Ukraine. Razom. Thank you, and let's keep doing our work together.
Ukraine will win. Ukraine will win. Democracy will win. Freedom will win. The bravery of our people, Ukrainian and American, will always overcome fear. Any tyranny will always fail when we stand firm against it, together. Slava Ukraini! Slava Ukraini! Slava Ukraini! Dear friends, dear supporters of Ukraine, we will have a march in support of Ukraine, the march against Russia's war against Ukraine. We will gather right here from this side of the reflecting pool, and we will go to the 17th Street and north, the 17th Street northwest. Then we will take a right to the Pennsylvania Avenue. We will march by the White House with the messages, "Thank you, USA, for supporting Ukraine." And then we will take left to the 16th Street and left to the 8th Street. And we will go, left to the 15th Street and then 8th Street. And then we will go to the residence of the Russian ambassador. Please join our march. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. Thank you so much for supporting Ukraine. Thank you. Slava Ukraini! Slava Ukraini! Slava Ukraini!
Україно! Слава нації! Слава нації! I would like to give microphone to Irina. Quick announcement about the buses that are going to Philadelphia. Thank you all for coming. The march is getting settled right there. So please join the march. And Irina, quick announcement.
Holy, holy.